Hey. What's going on, everybody? The prodigal son has returned. How's everybody? Happy Friday. It's January the 31st. So, congratulations on everybody that's made it somewhat through this first month of 2025. So, congratulations. Good luck. Going into next month. A week from tomorrow is actually my birthday, so yeah, another year coming and passing, and yeah, pretty good overall. So I'm gonna go over. We'll do a recap for the week, and then I'll give outlook. Also, before I go any further, big shout out to Motion Capital, MCT, Mario. Been kind of hanging out with him and his YouTube streams over the last couple of days. Brother is a phenomenal trader. At the end of the day, just absolutely phenomenal. I will, when putting this video up, I'm gonna go and leave a link to his YouTube channel. I'll put it in the description. And you guys should definitely go check him out. Lot of good information. He'll talk you through setups. He'll tell you what he sees. He'll tell you what he doesn't see. Very animated, very entertaining, outstanding fucking human being. So great guy. So that being the case, let's talk about this week. And we can start personally, and I can show you some information. So I personally had an absolutely abysmal week. Caught a really big trade last night, and based on this P&L here, I kind of gave damn near half of it back today. And I'm going to show you why. We'll get into it. The logic and the reasoning was correct, but ultimately just didn't quite happen. And then I'm going to show you something else that kind of gave me a little bit more I guess you could say confidence and probability as to why I did that. So as you can see, and I'm scrolling down, and like I said, transparency is transparency. I don't know anybody else, and I'm not saying nobody else on YouTube does this. I'm willing to do it. It's nothing for me. Again, this is me holding me accountable. It's not me being judged by other people. But if you look at my month, for all intents and purposes, I shouldn't have done anything today. I took a Globex trade last night, netted 47 handles. This number was like 800 and let's see, 860 is what I netted. 860. That's the trade. So I journal everything. But it's literally the very thing that I've been talking about in terms of a soup. So it was literally just 6 p.m. Candle printed, the 6:05 souped it. I took my entry, ran it all the way through till it took out sell side liquidity. That was the trade. So again, I should have just left that alone. And the only reason I took these two, we'll get into here shortly. But yeah, horrible trading week, bad trading week. They weren't all 100% losses, but, some losses mixed in. And ultimately, when I look at the week, we closed down 1,379 and 34. It kind of offsets week 2, where we closed up 1303.20. So I was really left with week 4 and week number 2 here, which were profitable, which gives you around about that number. So going into February, obviously, may just be looking at Sunday open, Globex open, Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. We'll see how it goes. Technically, I'll say play it by ear. The Wednesdays and Thursdays, we're just going to look for high probability, as the expression goes, A+. But I'm going to be looking for A++ setups. If they don't exist, If the soups are not present, if what we're looking for does not show, and maybe a little bit more patience than what has been being demonstrated isn't the case, then we just stay out. Just don't do anything. All right. So going into those two losses today on that combine, they're basically a sum of this foolishness right here. So let me back out so you can actually see, to get some level of context as to what and why. Right. So I just want to look over here, make sure. Okay, cool. Everybody can see. And I'm going to say something else, which I wasn't aware of until just before I started this live stream. Literally, I saw something, and if that's the thing, I'm not going to say it's going to reinforce my position, but I'll do some more informational digging and research, and maybe we do another live before Sunday or Monday and talk about it a little bit further. But for right now, we'll just get into this. So if you remember yesterday, all right, and that same entry that we were talking about a minute ago. So this was yesterday's PM session, okay, which ultimately ended up, like I said, we came down, we souped out the 6 p.m. I know you can't really see that, but to go back, let me just lock this, and then I don't have to worry about anything moving and sliding. I can grab the whole thing. Yeah, you can see that. Cool. So this was a 6 p.m. candle, and as you can see, like, not Photoshop, not screen, none of that shit, right? So you can clearly see souped, closed inside. This candle closed inside, got in here, and then we just wrote it down. So it cleared out the 6 p.m. And I'm not really going to describe what this is. That's another video at another time. We'll just simply say that obviously we didn't, if we were just looking at this from a new day opening gap, you didn't get equal participation. We'll just say that, okay? Because basically the 415 candle is here, okay? The close and this candle opening, we didn't get equal participation on the gap. We got one-sided delivery. And that doesn't always mean it's going to tail back out, but I used just another confluence that just basically said not for me to take a position. I didn't. And it just ran long. It ran away. But what were we really looking at? What I was looking at when we came into 6 p.m., which technically I should have been looking for long, is because we had a 4-hour 6 a.m. sell side candle from... Yeah, yesterday. I was looking at the date and I'm like, wait a minute, was that 2 days ago? Because Globex is the following day, so it can. So Thursday a.m., this was our 6 a.m. 4-hour candle. Okay, so you could clearly see that we put in a range, but essentially based upon where we closed and when we closed, we had already swept out the sell side. Okay, swept out the sell side, made that low, came back in. Right, made came in, and we'll get back to this. You see what that is now, but we'll come back to that. All right, so we cleared the sell side. We came and traded back up inside, created this range for the PM session for yesterday, but ultimately we closed back inside that 4-hour range. Now we'll pop out to the 4-hour really quick. Okay. And if you're following, I'm going to clear this real quick because the candles that we're looking for and looking at are right here. This is your 6 a.m. candle. The 10 a.m. when it closed, soup this candle sell side. Soup closed inside. So when the 2, excuse me, the 2 p.m. candle closed, we were going to get a gap up. So It's one of the reasons why I took the probability of trading the manipulation, which was that buy side to the sell side, and then I stopped because even though you've got wick over wick, this body and this body, there's a gap there. There's a volume imbalance there. And you could say it's hindsight, say what you want. I deliberately traded the manipulation and I stopped. I could have said, hey, let's see if we run the manipulation or we run this volume imbalance. I wasn't sure because I knew we still had economic news today. I wasn't sure. So I took what inevitably was the sure thing. I took that and then I stopped. That was enough. But this was one of the criteria. The other reason was ultimately, yeah, we could have done that, still stayed inside. I went for the short thing, but I knew because we had closed inside the 6 a.m. candle, the probability, as long as we stayed inside, we were probably going to run it. Again, I just needed certain confluences and things to stack up based on what I had been able to extract. I was relatively happy with the amount and just kind of said, the hell with it. We could just sit and watch. Like I'm okay with just watching the delivery because there might be another opportunity. Okay. Also, I didn't do something last night. I said in my head, which was to lock the account out. Had I done that, wouldn't be in this situation, but it is what it is, right? So moving on. Hey, thanks, Francis. How you doing? Yeah, we ended up taking out the buy side here overnight. Traded up and in, and even today, like I typically mark out like my initial balance and everything. I eyeballed it today, and structure up here basically gave a high, a low, and a higher high. So I'll zoom in again, and I worked today. So by the time I got back to the house, got to the charts, we were about halfway through this, right? Meaning we were on the way up. So I didn't do my typical, where's my initial balance high, low, where are we at? I didn't look for any of that. So just kind of let this develop and play out. And when I marked this out, I said, okay, well, we might be ready to go short. But when we came up here into the PM session, because we hadn't displaced and price just didn't go, excuse me, when it came back up, I just marked out another area that's associated with the lunch hour. And once we started getting these wicks here, price dropped off. Still wasn't, I wasn't sold. And if you ask why I wasn't sold, is because I didn't really have a target area outside of maybe the sell side. But if you, again, notice, usually I have like about 9 million rays on my chart. I don't have anything over here. I don't know. I was in La La Land or something, or maybe I was just trying to keep the annotations down or something. But I didn't do anything. I didn't feel apprehensive about I got to get in, no FOMO, no nothing. But when we got around, what is this, like 130, one more area marked out. I did not take anything in here either. I just marked it out to say, hey, let's see if this holds. So I just want you to look where you'd have like a lot of other individuals that would have this data that could go mark it out and say, oh, I caught it from here. You get a no BS, no filter kind of experience here. All right. I'm not going to bullshit you guys, and I don't have a problem showing executions, which I'm also going to show you in a minute on another chart. So again, no FOMO, didn't take this, right? Price ran, got into this area around 130, barely tapped back into this area of fair value that I marked off. And then I just said, hey, If you were taking this position, what would you look for? Bare minimum, but okay. It clears this out. But now I said, okay. And based on where it cleared, I just went back and I said, that's the 4 a.m. But now I'm looking here. I'm looking at my PM session. Because my mind, I'm saying, okay, if you get back here, you've clearly taken out 8:30 pre-market or pre-8:30 buy and sell side. That's done. I don't even have to look at that. You've already taken that out. You've taken out the initial balance sell side. We already ran out the buy side. Right? We've already run into a higher time frame imbalance as well as volume imbalance on the higher time frame. So now you can kind of take that liquidity. You've taken the external. Now we're looking for internal. So fractally, now I'm looking at this level as, okay, if we close below that, now I need you to show me and close in one more place. So you can look at the time, and we're going into 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock is the first indication with this candle. And you could look back here, but I'm looking at this from a standpoint of we were looking for this low to get cleared, right? So we swept this out. This would have been the first candle that kind of gave the hint that price is going to continue. Not confirmation, but a hint. So that's 2 o'clock, which is also, by the way, still going to be valid for any kind of retracement because that buy side is still sitting there. So just kind of working through. This again was going to be that 4 hour, but this red horizontal ray, that's the PM session. So we already know we took the buy side out. I'm looking for a definitive close inside. So yes, this closes inside, but now we're kind of just trailing back and forth in here until we get to this candle here at 235, I believe. Yeah, at 235. When we get this closure and this candle closure at 240, I'm just marking out an area, and now I'm looking at the consummate encroachment. And ultimately, this is the candle I waited to get in on. So for all intents and purposes, I could have set a limit at basically a limit order at the CE. I didn't do that because I wasn't sure if it wasn't going to come back up into this one. So I wasn't sure. So when this candle closed, I took basically a market order here and got a pretty decent run out of this on my practice account. But while I was giving that shout out to Mario, I purchased earlier while hanging out with him today, a 150K Tradeify combine. We had been talking back and forth about it. He said that he was going to, get one. He asked me what I thought. I gave him my thoughts on it. And before you knew it, he had purchased one. I purchased one. I initially told him, I said, hey, I'm going to hold off. I'm been piddling around with this 50K. I need to go ahead and take care of that. But needless to say, I didn't do that. So I just told you this candle was the one I operated on. So let me hop over to that account and let me show you that all right. So this is, and hopefully it didn't log me out. This is my Tradeify account. Let me see if I can if it'll update and not lock me out. Yeah, it hasn't updated yet. No worries. But essentially you could see it'll show me 1 day here. That sucks. I thought it would have updated, but maybe I'm a little too early. It might update after 6 p.m. But we've already locked in a 1K day. And technically the trade was, it was 11, the gross P&L was 1100. The net was 1094 and 32. I took a second position when we got down here because we closed back inside this 4-hour sell side low, which basically put price between a pre-existing low and another low to run out. So as you can see, we never took this out, but that's what I was reaching for in terms of, my next take profit. Oh gosh, I'm sorry. You don't even see what I'm talking about. You're still stuck on this one. My bad. But you can, at least you can see this. So it was two positions. So technically I was trying to get back in to finish that move out. It didn't work out. So we made 1094 on one, and then that second position I closed in a loss because it did come all the way back up, and technically it wasn't going to make sense to get back in, especially now hindsight that it never delivered to the low. So let me switch these back over. All right, there we go. So yeah, as you can see, like I was targeting basically this New York buy side, sell side. This New York PM sell side. We never got down there. So once we got this candle closure, I basically took my profit. I took it off the table. When we got this closure is when I jumped back in thinking, okay, well, we closed below, so it's likely that we'll, run or we'll reach down there. Didn't happen. You can see with this candle. So I literally got out somewhere before we actually had this pop above. Yes, we did get a little bit of a mitigation further into this area, but if you notice, all wicks, all circumstantial, like, either you're going to get lucky and get in near the low or you're not. It wasn't worth it to me to go through all of that. So needless to say, I still look at the week as somewhat mixed. Not exactly sure how I'm going to marry the Tradeify account with my Topstep, and maybe I alternate days in terms of taking a position in one account versus the other, because the last thing I want to do is to be looking at the market saying, oh, this is a great trade for me to get in here, and having to jump over to Topstep X and execute there, because now I'm operating the Tradeify. I know I can do it off of TradingView, but I don't mind Tradeovate. So I'm operating out of Tradeovate for that account, and obviously Topstep X for the Topstep account. So, but yeah, that's where we're at. So as far as an outlook and bias, so I've already marked out today's PM session, buy side and sell side. In my humble opinion, my estimation, this is the 4 PM candle where prices kind of just pop back and forth in and around here. So what I would look for come Sunday Globex, initially from the 5-minute, and it will go up in time frame. Sound like the music just got louder, huh? What I'll actually be looking for is to see if we gap up or down. Now, if we gap down, in my opinion, if we gap down, we're probably going to reach into these two areas that I've highlighted, and I'm designating this as a draw on liquidity initially. I'll show you what that is on a higher time frame. What I would in some ways prefer to see, honestly, is basically a move back bullish or long. Reason being, as I always say, as I love to say, if I'm looking for price to do a particular thing or to line up with my trading idea or plan, I want it to do the opposite of what what I'm anticipating or what I want to see. So in this case, I kind of want you to leave this PM sell side alone. You didn't take this sell side today from the previous PM session. Leave that as well. I wouldn't mind seeing you just kind of, if it's a gap up, great. If it's not, whatever. But run out this buy side and you could trade into this wick a little bit. And then let's see, if you want to make your way back down, because that'll still be enough of a range where what my mindset is based around, I don't have to catch the whole move. I don't have to catch 50% of the move. I can catch just enough to be okay with that day and still have an ongoing bias potentially for the rest of the week. The other facet and the other component to trading next week is it is an NFP week, which is not a secret. I don't trade NFP. So I literally need to be done by Wednesday, and Thursday, Friday, that's a practice account day. It's a demo account day. I don't want anything to do with that. Now, going back, because I wasn't going to forget, but I was going to disassociate the two things. So here's the other thing. Apparently, how do I want to say, there was some discussion by an individual that said something about he was going to raise drug prices, and the market decided to go down. And if I don't know what time that was, don't know when it was, because I'm aware of economic news and I just stay away from it. But when there's somebody speaking, like if it's Fed speak or something like that, I'm mindful of it and I'm not participating. When what I'm looking for are basically maybe session ranges high and low, or specific buy and sell levels, buy side and sell side liquidity points and levels. That's kind of what I'm looking at. I don't listen to any of the talking heads, none of the sentiment and fundamental. I don't do that. I don't listen to it. So I would just find it very interesting that if in fact that was stated and said around the time where the market went short, I'm saying, but I'm not saying that maybe in this case, two things that could totally be unrelated and related could be right at the same time. The technical probability was that something was going to be delivered to. This was almost delivered to. So this may be the pause to gain what is the sentiment. So now you have an idea of which way you want to proceed. Because if this is the preceding move that did not complete, many would just anticipate that Globex open Sunday, market just continues. What would be the best thing to do? If you wanted to trap short traders, what would you do? You've been selling off for a while. Easiest way to trap them is what? To go long. I'm just saying. And despite my drawings and everything in here, I can take this off and I'm going to just roll this back. Oop, I got that locked. I'm going to just roll this back this way, like this. You still have an area of fair value that it can be traded back into, right? That's just barely a wick mitigation, but it is nonetheless. But this could be run. I honestly think that's for something else, but So yeah, I would say that there's something else. There's something else afoot. But I would be inclined to think that there's an upcoming trap being set for everybody that's going to be short from in here. And it may be a resumption long. Just a thought. So if we go out to the daily, and don't worry, I'm going to clear my annotations. Okay. So really quick. So when I was talking about the volume imbalance, it's not cleared. It was traded to and through. This is your volume imbalance here. Today, we traded up and through it. We didn't, so price is still going to have some work to do up here at some point. Okay. You do also have something else that's occurring when I say higher time frame, and it could be fractally related when you're looking at Globex for Sunday and you're looking at Monday, even into Tuesday and even into Wednesday. Something just to be mindful of. So this is Friday. Obviously, this is Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, and Monday, right? So here we are on Friday. That's done what to Thursday? That is a turtle suit on the daily. This is a closure inside. So the same position that I took last night, Globex, was similar to this move. I just waited for the next candle, Monday, Sunday, Globex. I waited for that next candle to print and show me, are you going to go back above this predefined level of Thursday, or are you going to stay inside of it and close inside of it? So there's a part of me that for probably the first time in maybe, I don't know. I don't remember when I first heard it. So I'll just say in a couple of years that I'm actually going to do what I've always heard a lot of traders and speculators say, which is they don't trade Mondays. I typically trade Sunday open and Monday. I just do. Most of the time I'm successful at it. Sometimes I'm wrong and it doesn't work out. Most of the time I can figure it out, right? This might be just based on what next week is, and I don't think this is me overthinking it. I'm thinking not from a rational standpoint, I'm thinking from a probability standpoint. Because what I'm thinking is Monday may do exactly what I'm saying, or Sunday Globex, whatever you want to call it. Price may open long. It may come back into this area. It can even breach. The wick can come above Thursday. As long as there's not a body closure above it, you could technically be looking for the sell side of Thursday from a probability standpoint. And what did I put down here? I made that my draw on liquidity. I make there's no secret. So I know it seems like, and I have to check myself sometimes. I feel like I say every week, like, what's your bias next week? I always feel like I'm saying I'm short. I literally feel like every week I'm telling you guys I'm short. I don't know. But what's the concept? Right? What is the concept? I'll take this off again real quick. Thursday put in high of the week. Well, excuse me. Technically, it's not. Monday's still high of the week. But Thursday's reaching, right? Okay. Friday does what? Friday takes the external, and if we're just looking at the week, just looking at this week, because I know you could say, well, it didn't take that, so it's not the all-time. I'm not talking about an all-time high. We're talking about within the week, right? So it's taking Thursday high, and it's cleared Monday high. Monday, prior to today, was the high of the week. So This move, even in the wick, has taken external range liquidity above this level. So what would be the next anticipatory probable move? Maybe to go to internal. And one confluence is, okay, you've taken external, you've taken a buy side, taken a buy side. Okay. What's another factor? You're closing inside. Now, hopefully I don't lose anybody. It's not my intention. It's not to confuse anybody. Not my intention either. But I'm going to share this with you. This is ultimately also why I'm recording, because it's going to go on a live. It's going to go on my channel. It can be reviewed and, for posterity or whatever, or for nobody. Here's the thought. Not only would you potentially be looking for this being your draw on liquidity, you'd also be looking for that to be your draw on liquidity. Now you might say, Jeremy, come on, man. Jeremy, listen. You're like, Jeremy, you had me at Thursday. But Monday? Yes, Monday. Why am I saying Monday? Want me to take the drawings off, show you again? Let me show you what I see on Monday. So I just told you, when we zoom in here, that Friday souped Thursday, right? That wick, it souped it. It's closed inside, right? We agree? Okay. It's also souped Monday and closed back inside. So when I say I might actually just not do anything, like I'm not gonna lie, it might be a little difficult for me to sit on my hands on Sunday and going into like the obviously Globex for Monday. It might be difficult, not gonna lie. However, this Friday candle in relationship to Thursday and the subsequent Monday candle will produce potentially a lower high. That's a high, right? That's lower than that one. This one's lower. Okay. So Monday may make this a high, which if you're looking at it from a structural point would mean that you're going to probably create a low. And if we look back just in the immediate candles, you could look at Monday's candle and say, well, how is that a low? Well, that's your Tuesday candle and that's the Friday candle. So, I mean, by technical definition, it is. Which would mean if this is a high and this is a low, and depending on what Monday does, again, and this is the structural component of price. If we end up with a lower high, it's possible, especially the way that structure is delivering now, souping Monday, souping Thursday, seeking internal range liquidity, which could very well likely take Thursday, could also take Wednesday, could also take Tuesday, and essentially make its way back down to Monday. Now, I'm not saying that's all going to happen next week. I'm just simply saying this could be the predicate under which you could maybe expect, depending especially on NFP, to show you where price might be reaching to ultimately, not just within the week, ultimately where you're going. Might be going downtown on the A train. That's all I'm saying. But just don't know. Now, I do have a weekly candle range that's been closed back inside. So, any number of things can happen. I'm just simply saying that I'd be leaning that way just based on how structure is being put in right now. But as I said, at the end of the day, I don't know. We're all speculators in this space, and then just based upon delivery, that just seems reasonable and probable. But we'll see what happens. So, yeah, that's gonna wrap it for me here today, guys. I appreciate jumping back on. Like I said, I'll go into the community tab. I'll probably update there. Scheduling for next week. I will say that I will be doing my live sessions, but they're gonna be like late New York AM session. Might be like 10:30 going into the lunch hour. So I don't know if you guys would be interested in that or not. That kind of means that I'll be able to kind of look and see what took place in the morning, see if we have something that sets up in the afternoon for potential positions to put on and take. And yeah, we'll just go from there. So hella excited for that. Looking forward to getting back into some lives and, some chats and whatnot back and forth. But other than that, yeah, I'm gonna check out for now. Got work in the morning, but I'm gonna kind of relax and try to get some rest. Feeling a lot better as well. So hopefully that continues. But I hope you guys have a great weekend. Mark up some charts. Leave some comments below. So when we get on Sunday, if there's anything that somebody wants to know about or see or anything like that when it comes to an instrument or any kind of asset, just let me know. And we could look them up. What's going on, man? How are you today? He's him. I can't even say it now. Like, I am him. I am him. You'd be like, no, I'm him. Now I was just about to hop off before you popped in. How's your day? Ready for the weekend? Me too, man. Me too. Yeah, I've got work, but it's really only about maybe 3 hours or so. So nothing too rash. I'll essentially be back at the house before the day really begins. So no rush, no worries there. And actually, you know what? Maybe we do I don't know, maybe we do a crypto stream tomorrow. I typically, and the honest truth is, like, a lot of times I'll still look at crypto assets on Saturday just because. So maybe I'll do that. Yeah? Okay. Yeah, just something to fucking do. What can I say? I'm trying to think of a time. Maybe if I'm back by 10, that'll be, because that's usually, actually no, I forgot, because crypto's gonna be 7 to 11 or 7 to 10 really, but after 11 there's usually a clear, because actually, you know what, it will be. We will do that tomorrow, and I will. I'll see if we can find. Excuse me. See if we can find an asset, either Bitcoin or even Ethereum. See if we could use a candle range theory on, because I particularly like using that very specifically on. I'd use whatever the crypto asset is. I'll use it on there, but I like Ether. Ethereum, or not Ether, I'm sorry, Ethereum. Some weeks Ethereum likes me, other weeks it's like, meh. Yeah. But yeah, we can do that. So yeah, I'd say about 10:30, 11 o'clock tomorrow Eastern to hop on. But yeah, with that, I'm gonna go ahead and I will split for the evening. Everybody take care. Have a good night. I'll see you tomorrow. Francis, thanks for coming through. Again, big shout out to Mario. I'm pretty sure he'll either be in or track him down. So yeah, everybody take care. I'll see you.